Hey guys, if you're shopping for knives and gear, make sure you check out the description of the video you're watching right now for links to some great online retailers. There's also individual links for knives that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I'm going to be walking you guys through my top 15 best folding knives to give as gifts this Christmas 2020. This list is going to be helpful for knife people wanting to give non-knife people a knife for Christmas, for non-knife people wanting to give a knife person, somebody who's really into knives, a knife for Christmas, or if you just want to, drop a helpful hint to a loved one, say, hey, something like this, then yeah, absolutely. I've reviewed a ton of knives. I've handled a ton of knives in 2020. There's going to be knives in different price ranges. In fact, we're going to start at the least expensive and we're going to work our way up. So this list actually includes knives ranging anywhere from about $30 all the way up to about $425 with some additional customization options. And every last one of them will be linked right down in the description so that you can find them. There are a lot of other knives I could have included on this list, but they have to be available. I'm not going to recommend something as a gift if it's not available, so that doesn't make any sense, right? So everything will be listed right down below, very conveniently, very sorted out, so you guys can get exactly what it is that you're looking for. Thanks so much to my generous patrons for supporting me. If you'd like to check out my Patreon, there's a link down in the description, and please follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. Starting off here at the least expensive knife that I can recommend. Honestly, this is a great gift to give to anybody. I fully expect most people to go after something like this. This is the QSP Penguin coming in at about 30 bucks. Listen, there are a lot of throwaway knives you can get for under $30, but truthfully, about where I start recommending knives is about this point. Don't buy a junker knife for $10 or $15 because it looks cool, right? If you're somebody who's not really in the knife world, that's okay, right? There's a lot of neat looking stuff out there that's less expensive, but if you want to get something functional that's actually going to last, that's actually made out of something good, these are made out of micarta and D2 steel. They have an excellent, very functional blade shape, very thin behind the edge, very easy to deploy. This is a quality made product for about $30 in D2. Man, honestly, I've given this knife multiple times as gifts already this year. Probably 3 times this year. You can get it in OD green, you can get it in blue jeans micarta, you can get it in this brown micarta. It all looks great, very functional, very straightforward, extremely recommendable. Moving on here, of course, the CJRB Rhea coming in at $3 more, $33. These come in a wide variety of different colors, blue, black, natural, green, right? There's even some upgraded ones if you want to spend a little bit more money, but this is a smaller knife. Somebody in your life who you think could benefit from a smaller knife, they work in an office every day or just want a very simple, straightforward cutting tool. These are 12C27N steel, very easy to touch up, right? Very, very good cutting geometry on the blade. Just a nice, lightweight, low profile, very simple pocket knife that's made well. Absolutely 100% recommendable at $33. Moving on here, perhaps my favorite budget knife of 2020, this is the CIVIVI Ordos. Also not a huge pocket knife, about 7.5 inches overall. He's coming at 40 bucks. Made out of lightweight injection mold plastic, very simple handle profile, nice and contoured, nice milling lines there with this sort of faux bolster look. Love the clip point blade. These are 9CR18 MOV steel as far as I understand, which is again another great, easy to touch up stainless steel. I love the access to the little hole there, so this can be used as a flipper knife to deploy quickly. It can also be reverse flicked or opened with the thumb. There's a lot of different ways to open this up. Nice, simple liner lock. Again, just a great knife to give to anybody. I actually gave this knife to my mom for her birthday here recently, which was interesting because my entire family except for my mom has received a pocket knife from me, and this just seemed to be the perfect knife for her. Extremely lightweight, very functional, very thin behind the edge. And at $40, yeah, it's incredibly recommendable. Moving on here, about $40 as well. If you've got somebody in your life you think would really like a flashy automatic knife, but you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money, there are a lot of cheapy autos out there, but truthfully, if you don't want to break the bank, right, if you want to spend not a crazy amount of money, these are around $40, and you want something that's actually going to last, the Boker Kalashnikov, but I'm actually going to recommend these colored ones. I picked up a green one here recently. You get these in red, blue, and green. There's a ton of different variants of this. If you don't like the colored stuff, they have more simple, subdued things like the regular stonewash or the black. They've got the desert tan, right? There's a whole bunch of these. These come in at about 40 bucks. Very powerful spring. This is about, what are these, 7.5 inches overall? Not huge, right? Obviously, whoever it is that you're getting these for, they have to live in an area where automatic knives are legal because these are switchblades, right? But come on, everybody loves to be gifted an automatic knife if it's legal, right? People just think they're cool. These are functional, Aussite steel, nothing special on the steel, but it's going to last. It's going to be easy to touch up. It's going to be stainless. The handle scales are aluminum. These are very durable. I've actually got a video of one of these that lasted at least 13 or 14 years and is still going. These are awesome, awesome automatic knives. There's no other knife, that's automatic that I would recommend in this exact same price range, right? You have to kind of go, if you want to get better quality, you really have to go up. There's no sidestepping these Boker Kalashnikovs, in my opinion. So at $40, sometimes up to $45, these are extremely recommendable. Moving up here, just a little bit more expensive, this is the Saviviodium. This is the last knife in the budget realm of this list. This is a smaller knife. Very, very, I think it's actually the smallest. Well, it might be about the same size as the Rhea. A little bit taller blade. Very easy access to this big opening slot. It's also a flipper tab. A knife with a flipper tab. The interesting thing about this knife is that not only does it use Contour G10 or heavily chamfered G10 that are it's shadow boxed by the liner, so it's got a really cool aesthetic on the handle. Comes in a bunch of different colors, right? It is a flipper that has a forward choil, a nice large forward choil. So despite the fact that it is small, somebody with larger hands can still enjoy this knife because they can choke up behind the blade and still get a full purchase on it. These usually, I believe that these are D2. They might be in 9CR 18 MOV. Civivi likes to use both of those steels, right? Really, really excellent. This is definitely one of the best budget knives of 2020 alongside some of the other stuff that you've seen. Not the Kalashnikov, that was from a while back. Some of the other knives earlier on this list. I loved this knife. Absolutely loved it. You can check out my review of this and actually everything else that's on this list as well. Very recommendable at about $52. Moving on here, holy crap, this thing is amazing. This is the CIVIVI Elementum, but the upgraded S35VN version. S35VN, for anybody who doesn't know, is still considered a super steel. These are powder form steels that have really good edge retention. On top of that, it's pretty tough and very stainless, absolutely. This is a little bit larger than some of the other smaller knives I've shown on the list, about the same size as the first knife that I showed. I think these come in at about 7.5 to 7, maybe 7 3/4 inches overall. Very simple profile, excellent cutting edge, excellent ergonomics. These are going to be just about the same quality as the other Civivis that I've mentioned on the list, but the big factor here is that this comes in a super steel, which is amazing considering it comes in less than $100. That is not very common in today's knife world. This comes in at $80. So if you want to get somebody something that is, high quality, this is actually running on bearings. Actually, some of the other knives on this list are also running on bearings. But great flipping action. This is a flipper only. All you have to do is pull down on the lever and it flips out for anybody who's not a knife person. Not an automatic knife. It's just running on kinetic energy, right? Really, really good knife for $80. Can't recommend this one enough. Moving on here, for somebody who wants an automatic knife but wants to take it a step further in terms of overall quality, this is the Kershaw Launch 11. Kershaw has a whole bunch of different Launch series knives that are all automatics. I think they're up to like the 13. There's 13 different models. This is the one that I like the best. It's simple. It's got a great blade shape. They're not doing anything crazy. There's not this big weird. It's a simple, straightforward, small automatic knife. About 7.5, I think 7.25, 7.5 inches overall. Not a big knife, right? I could be wrong about the size. It could be a little bit smaller than that. When you click on the links down below, it'll take you to the page that shows the specs so you can see exactly how big it is. These are using CPM 154 steel, which is powder formed. One of my favorite, in fact, this is my favorite steel of all time. Incredibly versatile, stainless, easy to touch up, good edge retention, good toughness, absolutely wonderful. The blade shape is perfect for EDC. It's got some belly so you can do some slicing. It's got that sort of reverse tanto tip, so you've got good, it's good for like breaching and puncturing tasks like that, but it's automatic. And these are a step up from the Boker Kalashnikov knives, and these are made in the United States, which is pretty cool. These guys are going to come in at about $98. That's $98 well spent, in my opinion. Moving on here, the Spyderco Para 3 Lightweight. By many, a lot of people are going to tell you, just a quick look around the knife world part of the internet is going to tell you, The Spyderco Para 3 Lightweight is one of the greatest EDC knives of all time, and this is, you know, all things considered, materials, price, the balance of everything, the strength to weight ratio, the blade profile, all of that, ease of access to the thumb hole. My favorite thing about the Para 3, the reason I carry it so often, is because that thumb hole is so easily accessible. This is something that my dad, who's got gigantic, thick, leathery hands from, you know, doing construction his entire life. This knife coming in at 7 and, what do these come in? It's 7 1/4 inches overall, are so friendly with his hands. Despite being smaller, he can easily get his thumb into that thumb hole. He can easily get his hands all the way around this, the handle profile up there in the choke up position, right? The compression lock is very, very easy to manipulate. These are injection mold plastic handles, but they are nice and not thick like super wide, but they're dense. These are incredibly durable, even though it's not, you know, my preference is G10, but really awesome ratios on this guy. This is all the way around is one of the best, you know, knives you can get in terms of just overall utility and versatility. Really, really good. These are using CTS BD1N, which is just fine. It's CTS BD1 with added nitrogen, I think. In any case, the blade steel is going to be stainless. It's going to be easy to touch up. It's just going to be fine for regular EDC, outdoor work, whatever it is that you want to do. Fantastic. Moving on here, step up in terms of price, we are looking at the Knives Banter. This was the Ben Peterson design. His objective was to design the perfect folding knife for him, which, you know, ended up being a knife with, you know, specs that are really good for a wide variety of people. In fact, this is a knife that I can pretty much recommend to anybody. This is not a gigantic knife, but mysteriously, you're still able to get a full purchase on the handle because they make good use of the, basically the length of the handle or the profile of the handle. Very simple profile, very simple blade shape. You can get these in a couple of different color configurations, blue on the G10 and tumbled or more of a satin colored finish on the blade, and then you can get this all black version. This is S35EN, which is again is that super steel that I was talking about previously. Thumb stud deployer, very easy to deploy it. Nothing crazy going on here. If you want to get somebody a really nice knife that's made with really good materials, right? You want to spend a little bit of money to make sure that the fit and finish and the quality is all there, right? But you want to get a gift for somebody who's not looking for anything crazy. Just a very simple, straightforward pocket knife that they're going to use for simple EDC tasks day to day, but you want to make sure that the tolerances are all there, it's made well, it's centered, right? It's smooth. This is running on bearings as well. Oh gosh, yeah. These are going to come in at about $108, but in my opinion, that is money well spent. This is a knife that pretty much anybody will enjoy, and it's a great example of a good pocket knife, right? Up from, if you've got friends who carry gas station junkers or just, you know, weird fantasy knives or whatever, right? If you want to spend some money and get something really, really good, absolutely the Knives Banter is the way to go. Moving up here, a big jump, actually. We're going to talk about the Benchmade Mini Crooked River. And then we're also going to talk about the large Crooked River. The mini Crooked River comes in at about 7.75 inches overall. I've got one of these guys, and I use it all the time. These come in at about $195. These are US-made knives. There's a very clear jump up in quality in these things. These are using S30V steel, which is a super steel powder formed. The bigger guy is the same thing. It's just larger. These come in about $220. I will link these two, right, in their forms as you're seeing them down below. But the reason that I want, and you can pick them up in this configuration if you feel like whoever it is that you're getting them for would enjoy the wood and the orange, right? But if you like the profile and you don't like the colors, the cool thing about this knife is that you can actually customize them on the Benchmade custom shop. So you can change out the color of the scale, the color of the bolster, the color of the pivot collar, the backspacer, and you can change the steel. You can upgrade the steel to something really, really good like CPM20CV, which is CPM20CV, which is arguably the best EDC blade steel out there. I think it's perfectly accentuated on a knife like this with this blade profile. You can create some. This is actually mine. This was made for me by a viewer. Blue G10, black bolsters, blue pivot collar, and a blue backspacer, and this has CPM20CV steel, which is incredibly stainless and has even better edge, not edge stability, but edge retention, right? So it's much longer between sharpenings. You can also get a variety of different steels, right? You can change out the blade. Actually, they have a Damasteel option, which is what you're seeing here. The carbon fiber, I think, is an option on that custom shop. I can't remember if that actually is, or somebody may have added these aftermarket. But you can see there they've done something different with the bolster and the pivot collar, right? Somebody here has gone with black G10, black bolster, a bronze pivot collar. There's so many different combinations because of all the different pieces on this knife, because of the bolster, the pivot collar, the backspacer, and the G10 scales. There's a number of different color combinations that you can go with. More subdued, less subdued, more colorful, whatever it is that you want to do. That's what makes these things such a good value. Well, in terms of like when you're going to pay a lot of money for something, you can really customize it and get it exactly the way that you think that person might want it. So these customized versions are going to be more expensive, right? Like I said, you're looking at between $195 and $220 for the base versions. If you customize them, you're probably looking at something more like $250, $265-ish, right? Depending on what your configuration is. But gosh, to get something that's very specifically customized towards that person's taste, I think is money well spent. If you're going to do this, do it now, because it takes them a little bit to get it done and ship it to you. I think as of the time of this video, you might have just enough time to get it here for Christmas. But I mean, like I said, you're going to have to go to the Benchmade website, go to the custom shop to get that done. But I think it's an excellent gift idea if you want to spend this type of money. Moving on here, if you want to get somebody an OTF or an out-the-front automatic knife, and it is legal for that person to carry an OTF, check the blade length laws as well. The Microtech, Ultratech, and UTX 85 are definitely the ones that I'd recommend. The UTX 85 is a little smaller. I think these are about 7.5 inches overall. Again, check the specs on the link, right? These are American-made OTFs. These are using very premium materials, CPM 20CV, M390, 204P. Those are all analogs to each other. It's all the same steel made by different companies, right, or the same composition. So incredibly high edge retention, very, very stainless. They come in a massive variety of different colors, stock. So if you want to get something with an interesting blade shape, an interesting, coating, right, if you want to get two-tone, like what you're seeing here, black and satin, or all black, you want to get a dagger ground blade, you want to get a tanto blade, right? You can get the one that you want, and then you can get the color that you want. Usually, right, there's a ton of different colors: blue, green, red, yellow, purple, bronze, black, whatever it is that you're wanting to get. They've got a ton of them. And then if you want to go with something bigger for a little bit more money, these guys, the Ultratech is a little bit bigger at about 8.5 inches, $280 for this guy. Again, the same thing applies. It's really satisfying to deploy a blade with that firing switch, have it fire straight out the end, and then retract it back down into the handle. I think it's stupid that these knives are not legal everywhere, because they're simple cutting tools that are just made more convenient by the fact that you can deploy and retract the blade with a switch. These are excellent. They are very durable. Like I said, made in the USA. If you want to get somebody a really nice USA-made OTF, I think these are the best ones out there, considering the variety and what they cost. I've owned many of these knives. The quality is absolutely there. They are substantially better than the Chinese counterparts, some of the less expensive knockoff OTFs that you can get out there. Spend the money, get the real thing. These are definitely worth it. And the person that receives this gift, you will put the biggest smile on their face getting them an automatic. If they're somebody who's into stuff like that, absolutely. And then moving on, if you really want to spend a lot of money, obviously, my viewers, my subscribers are going to know the XM18 3-inch or the XM18 3.5 inch. If you want to spend $425 plus, I understand we took some crazy jumps there, right? But truthfully, if you're going to spend this type of money, the XM18 is probably my all-around favorite design, right? If we're considering options, we're considering the different blade profiles, the different handle, scale colors, and all of the different customization options. The 3-inch model, as you could guess, is about 3 inches overall. These come in at about 7.5 inches overall, 3-inch blade. The XM18 3.5 inch comes in at 8.25 inches overall with a 3.5 inch blade. The interesting thing about these is all of the different finishes that you can get, all of the different blade shapes that you can get, the different blade coatings, the different scales, right? You can get these in flipper. You can get them in non-flipper. They are made out of titanium and G10 and usually M390 or CPM 20CV. These are extremely high-quality US-made knives that are incredibly durable. They have the tri-way pivot system now, which means the pivot internals can be changed out between phosphor bronze, bearings, or nylon, depending on the user's preference or their environment. These are absolutely made to be used, and they are definitely knives that are going to last for years and years and years. You can customize these things. If you want to spend some more money, you can actually purchase additional parts for these, like this blue scale here, this blue and black scale here, an orange scale, a purple scale, a green scale, you can get copper scales, you can get titanium scales, whatever you want. On top of that, you can actually change out the hardware to your choice of a variety of different materials and colors, including titanium or steel. These are black nitride coated. You can get brass, you can get blue titanium, you can get bronze titanium, you can get green titanium, purple titanium. If you want to spend some money and get somebody a truly customized gift, you want it to be incredibly durable, incredibly usable, incredibly versatile, right? You want to customize it to that person's taste, and you want to make sure that it's going to last basically for their entire life, and then they can probably hand it on to the next person, right? Whoever it is. The XM18, if you're going to spend that type of money, that's one of the best knives that you can get. I have owned so many of these knives. They're just incredible. They cut well. They do tend to be a little bit thick and a little bit heavy if you go with the standard versions, but there are skinny versions, right? There's so many different options, and this can be overwhelming to somebody who's not a knife person looking to spend this much money. Here's the simple truth. You can't go wrong with an XM18. 3-inch or 3.5-inch. They are made unbelievably well. Incredibly well, and you can customize them. So, if you're somebody who is okay with taking a knife apart, these are easy to take apart. You can use, a coin to undo the pivot. You can use simple hex, or I believe the XM18s are hex, and the XM18 3.5-inch are hex, and the XM18 3-inch are Torx, right? You can take these apart, you can put the custom hardware in, right, and you can give it to somebody. This is something that I did with my brother, actually. He knew what he wanted, and then we ordered it. I took it apart, put all the custom pieces in. If you watched my channel, you probably remember that video, right? So if you're somebody who's familiar with the XM18 or disassembling knives, right, and you're really wanting to, get somebody a really special, customized, nice, expensive knife as a gift, this is the way to go. Absolutely, this is the way to go. You can really get something that's incredibly personalized and something that is meant to last for, basically forever. Really, really cool. I can't recommend these enough. Like I said, every last one of these will be listed right down in the description, so you can go check them out. I'll also link custom hardware for the XM18 if you guys want to browse through that stuff. Just to take a look, but yeah, absolutely. I wanted to make sure that this got out, plenty of time for Christmas, so you guys, anybody wanting to use my list and get gifts, you had plenty of time to do that. But in any case, I hope that I helped some of you. I helped give you guys a good idea of, what's a good knife to give as a gift in different price ranges for different types of people. I hope this was at least mildly entertaining. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.